beforehand, but then it seems like it's just. This is 20 minute periods or so now, because U19 plays 20.
Yeah, but it's for 17.
Yeah, U19 plays 20, U16 plays 17, U14, which I think we only have one of those games, is only 14. No. There's college commits on the scene, but.
See, that's why I wouldn't even know how much time to set on the clock in the next game.
Yeah. Welcome back to Canton Ice House, Game 2 here of Day 1 on the blue rink. We switch to the U19s as this one going to be Rothsay Netherwood taking on NAHA White. NAHA's the guest, Rothsay Netherwood the home team as we are quickly underway in this matchup. It's supposed to be a 10-10 start, so a couple minutes late, but no problem. You'll see NAHA out there in the red tops. They got the white numbers and white letters on the back of their tops. They're traveling from left to right. Rothsay Netherwood from right to left. Then they got the white tops with the green letters and green numbers. Quickly behind the goal line, Emily Thomas tried to center. There's a shot, and it's swatted down in front. And NAHA quickly going to skate on out of the zone as here comes Quinn Taylor. Streak it over center, going to break in offensive territory beyond the right circle. Pass out in front, the backhand denied. Abby Richardson just couldn't finish it. Near side boards, Taylor slices and dices for it. Comes away from height out towards center. Dawson going to chip it. Little spin around as there's Mandeville forcing it off the far boards. Grabbed in neutral by Dawson as she'll play it back to her D. 55 seconds in. Here comes Richardson on the steal. Goes to the forehand and couldn't squeak it in 5-hole. Somerville going to weave out to center. At the blue line, pulls up. Dawson crosses the line, forces it to the net, and there's a stick. Jake Elias, your starting goaltender for NAHA this morning. 2026er, yet to commit to a college, and you'll hear a lot of NAHA college commits on this roster all weekend long. This team's been playing some really good hockey this year when they've been together 5-3. They are in third place amongst the U19s, and they have a chance this weekend with some games against a couple of the weaker squads to pull themselves up further. Mandeville, a nice start. Now Tegan Flood, a returner to this team on the backhand. From the corner, Mandeville, the shot, bagel, and it squeaks in. Kaylee Mandeville going to give them a 1-0 lead early. So time on the goal again will be 1:40. And Kaylee Mandeville, the 2027 Merrimack commit, opens the scoring. Well, side-side passing game. Cassidy Lobiser and Miller, the second D pairing. Played right back over to Miller. Fans on the pass and now spins around. Smith with a nice steal. Quick jab from Murphy. NAHA able to skate beyond center. They're going to make some changes. Tegan Flood comes in all alone as she traps it behind the goal line. Megan Hull, the starting goalkeeper for RNS this morning. Their squad's 3-3-1 with 7 points, and they are 5th amongst the U19s. They come off having 1-2 and tied 1 at Utica's Nexus Center in the middle of November. Smith, a banker off the boards, comes down the ice on the backhand, and icing is going to get waved off, so RNS able to make some switches. Laura Murphy played to the near side, tries that centering look. Tegan Flood looking for this breakout. Here comes Miller over the blue line, backside the left wing circle. She's knocked down, and we will get our first penalty. Jaden Elias was quickly skating over to that bench, but couldn't get off in time to get the extra attacker before the touch-up. Going to be a cross-check call on Adriana Shanahan. And so we'll see this NAHA power play for the first time today. 4 games at Utica, they had 3 power play goals. Quinn Taylor inside the zone, right wing circle, baked in front, and they couldn't deliver. Near side boards through Taylor's legs. They go back out. Ella Melling hitting the reset button, neutral territory. Drifting in, here comes Cassidy Lobiser. She gets tied up, 2-on-2 board battle. Sophie Urquhart gets it out towards center. Quinn Taylor on the Northeast Generals logo cuts a little bit left. A little spin around as Height put it forward. Dancing on in, not going to have a look for Richardson. Now from the slot, nothing doing for Lobiser. And nobody knew where the puck had gone. Miller jabs at this one, RNS trying to get a clear. As Emily Thomas calling for a change, they're only able to get 2 off. Here comes Richardson with 1:15 left on the penalty. Near side boards, Richardson, fourth pass mailing all the way down out of the zone. And Elias will come out to play. 16:22 to go first period. Already a 1-0 NAHA lead, and they are with the extra attacker for another minute and change. Skating up the left wing wall. Quinn Taylor going to get over center. Comes with speed through the right wing circle all the way to the house. Cuts it in under the crossbar. And the lead's going to go 2-0. So it's the captain who delivers at 3:52. And the goals are going to be just 2:12 apart. So we'll see if RNS going to keep rolling with Megan Hall. As NAHA keeps playing like this. After the draw win, Tegan Flood forced it down the wall, comes all the way behind the goal line. Penalty hasn't been wiped off the board, but Shanahan is out of the box, so we're back at 5-on-5. Sophie Urquhart tied up. Kilfoyle having a hard time clearing the zone. Here's Bettle on the near boards, now forced down in. Ray Culligan tracks it down. Going to slide it to her left, bounced away from Kilfoyle. Miller, near side boards, comes back behind the goal line. Petra Polino right on it there as well. Tegan Flood inside the zone, going to force it forward on the backhand. Drubbed behind the goal line as Polina again bounces over a stick. But a pretty bouncy puck here to begin this one. Tegan Flood back out neutral territory. RNS making some changes. Miller gets over the blue line. Nice toe drag move again to the toe drag to the high slot and couldn't get a shot off. Jayla Matthews forces it past center all the way down the ice sheet and not going to get an icing. Dawson crunched to the boards. Not been much of a checking game here early. Just been kind of a NAHA adding that extra edge that we've seen them add when they've been playing their best hockey, especially at the start of the year. Lake Placid was their best tourney to begin the season. Bounces through the circle, trying to get on top of it. There's Gruber. Stick tied up. Hayden Bloom right in the middle of the pile. Matthews fighting for it. A little slice and dice action. Finally comes free. Matthews slings it in with 14:32 to go here in period one. 3 20-minute periods your format this weekend. We do only get one intermission / ice cut, which is going to come after the second period. After the first, we'll take about a 90-second break. And that goes into the scorer's box. So out of play it comes. And again, your score 2-0 here in favor of NAHA early. So clock stop, 14:13 to go. We're in a few extra seconds after because, you know, the keeping the head in good shape, more important, obviously. Height going to her left side. Mandeville played out to center, now given away. Marissa Dawson breaking back in, trying that 3-on-2 rush, and Mandeville broke it up. Quinn Taylor slung off the wall, now trapped down by Height in this right side corner. Abby Richardson right on top of the puck as she'll work the wall. Cuts over blue, going to skate over center, weaves in offensive territory beyond the left wing circle. Behind the goal line, centered one, and Quinn Taylor couldn't get to it. RNS right back in possession as they'll shuffle it forward. Hits the top of the bench, won't get a whistle, nobody hit it. Mandeville back behind the goal line. RNS completing the line change, 13:28 to go in the period. Richardson, shot behind her. Now Height going to go D to D. Height's an Amherst commit, just recently committed in between tournaments. Mandeville, Gagnon going to get on top. RNS, not too much possession time here through the first just about 7 minutes action. Hoping they could get some chances. Jaden Elias hasn't been tested too much. Just one shot coming her way here early. Flips off a twig and could have come back to the center stripe. Gruber back at her own blue line. Meets a wall as Gugnan forced it loose. Tracking that one down goes Kilfoyle. Going D to D, but picked off on the way. Paulina takes it to the wall. Finds that centering pass. Cassie Lobiser, another returner for this team, just missed. She was trying to tuck it in that left post. There's Mailing out at the blue line, in behind the net, and Megan Hall cover. Nice easy doing with 12:30 to go to freeze the play. Don't want to see too many chances come your way. You can get tested too much here early and wear yourself down. Sophie Peterson is dressed on the bench as the backup here for head coach Jordan DeLong this morning. And again, RNS is the home team. NAHA led by Tony Miano, a longtime head coach who's advanced a plethora of players to college hockey. She's got Kayla Friesen on the bench with her as her assistant this year. Ella Mealing in her own zone, almost taking it back in. Cranked from the corner. Mealing rides off the top of the wall, left side corner. Try that breakout to the middle. Here goes Petra Polino, out towards center. Puck comes free. Emily Thomas taking it in. Right side corner, tries to find a center in, surveying the space. Shuffled ahead by Kate Loiter. RNS will bank it right back in and once again go for a line switch. NAHA making a couple of changes up the gut as well. Shanahan gives it away at the blue line. Break it in. Comes Johnson through the left wing circle. Misfired the pass. Now surveys the space. Forces it out high. Given away as Marissa Dawson picks the pass. Forced to neutral. NAHA right back on it. Murphy, banker off the boards the other way. 11:18 to go. Hall looks on behind the net. Tegan Flood up there with heavy pressure. Comes off the boards right in front. A little dangerous area. Dawson off a skate, comes to the boards. There's Claire Beadle as well. Lydia Johnson gets tied up. Puck comes loose. Kate Loiter has it knocked away by Dawson, trying to come out to blue. Here goes nothing the other way. Grace Kennedy on slapper, and they are going to be offside. Claire Beadle, step too soon. 10:52 to go. Wildstein Netherwood playing 3 games this weekend. Same thing for NAHA. RNS tomorrow going to play 2 games against Washington. Play 9:10 a.m. at Cadillac Ice Arena in Walpole, just the home of the Eastern Hockey League Express Hockey Club, and a bunch of local teams, all sorts of divisions, from midgets and squirts to adult hockey. Use that rink, and it's a pretty good ice sheet, so it'll be nice to see that game there tomorrow. And they're also going to play 5:20 p.m. over on Red tomorrow. Sean McGee will have the call for both of those for you. Taylor, left wing corner. Shipped out high. There's Mandeville trying up through center. Beadle turns around. Now skated the other way. Zeeland up the left wing side. Through the hash marks. Gets sliced out in the corner. Shot out behind the circle. Now on that got blocked. Spinning Underhill in the corner. Going to dish it out to the point. Urquhart had it blocked. Quinn Taylor was right in the way. Banker off the boards behind the net. Here comes Height trying that breakout. Richardson helping her out as well. Towards center. Kilfoyle banks it off the boards. Urquhart trying to keep it in as well, but it's Height who's got it. She'll ship it to Taylor. Tried to find that centering pass. Richardson cleared right back in. 9:36 to go. Again, a 2-0 lead. 2 goals in the first. 3:52 for NAHA if you're just tuning in. Kaylee Mandeville the first, and then Quinn Taylor the captain on the power play. Poloni coughed this one up. Thomas ripped one wide. Comes off the wall out to blue. Forced up by Urquhart all the way down behind the net. Check laid. As RNS starting to pick up that physical edge. Behind the net, there's Jayla Matthews. Polani shot out to neutral. Here comes Lobiser, and she lost her stick getting over the line. Marissa Dawson spins around, forces it up through. Sophie Lace through center, comes back down, 8:52 to go. Ella Mealing behind the goal line, 8:48. Again, some changes being made, both by NAHA and RNS on that dump in. Jaden Elias watches behind the net. Petra Poloni been out there for a while as Dawson the bank pass in. There's Ella Mealing behind the net. Circles up top. Near side boards, it's Polani again. Big body being laid. Claire Beadle. This one comes loose. Grace Kennedy spins around as well. Danica Morden into the pile as it's 2 to a side. Official watching if he has to freeze up the play. Dawson finally brings it out of the pile. Front of the NAHA bench, this one being kicked out. Bodies laid by Clara Beadle. Shanahan skates over the Northeast Generals logo. Nice little dipsy doodle. Left wing side. Through the circle. Swerves in behind the goal line. To the far side corner. Gruber tracks this one down. Olivia Johnson right there in the pile as well. Been a pretty board-heavy game on the NAHA end to begin this one. For NAHA, they're scheduled the rest of the weekend. They play an 8:50 a.m. game against Stansted tomorrow on Red. And then Sunday morning here at Canton Ice House, they'll also play on Red against Mount Academy. Hayden Bloom crashing the boards. Squeaks out to center. Murphy wheels around. Tries to find a lane. Tegan Flood meets some bodies. Bloom threw her stick in there, but RNS going to start the rush. Would have had a 4-on-3, but they opt for the line change instead with about 7 and change to go. Marie Colligan. Murphy on the backhand, played out through center, down the length of the ice sheet, and icing is going to get waved off. Richardson going to get over center. And that one forced over the net. Along the boards, played out to the point. Banked into the quarter. Surveying the space in front. Nothing's there for Kartush. And now slid past the post one for Chinks off. Abby Richardson. Looks like the net is loose by Megan Hall. Matthews gets her stick in the corner. RNS crashing 3 into this little board party. Richardson seems to be doing most of the work on the NAHA side. And finally, I guess 3 is too many. And they win the battle. Underhill behind the net. Haven't seen much of her in this first period. Matthews near side. Miller going to pick up at the red line. Break it forward. 2 have a big pile of ice in front of that RNS bench over there. Hopefully that's not an issue. Wrapped in front. And what a layout. Megan Hall. Spread eagle. And keeps the puck out with 5:36 to go. So officials going to fix that right back up. And again, 2-0 NAHA, your score here, game 2 of the day. So a U16 game this morning already between Washington and Stansted, and resulted in a 4-1 Stansted victory. Certainly could have been a lot bigger difference. Shots were 53-12 or something like that, and again 4-1 was the score. So Washington getting a show in net. Here comes Kennedy breaking over center. And Marissa Dawson we'll call him offside. So 5:19 to go. We'll get a neutral zone draw. NAHA win another face-off. Played it D-to-D a little bit. Pike gets over the blue line. Now darts over center. Cuts into the zone. Backside of right wing circle. Put it wide. Scooped by Morden, another college commit. She's heading to Sacred Heart. She's a 2026 grad, so it's her last year playing for NAHA. Here's Dawson along the boards. A lot of these 2026s, you know how it goes, moving on to college hockey next year. Through center, trying to find Tegan Flood on the outlet. Instead, here comes Shanahan, right wing side, back beyond the ring. Forced, and what a save. Jaden Elias not battle-tested too much here in his first period, but making the saves when she gets the chances. So face-off will come to her right. Another face-off win. Richardson cracks it off the wall. Brianna Gruber in the corner. Ella Mealing. Now Smith to the middle. Richardson over the blue line. Wedging it forward. Left side corner, there's a hit. Dawson Smith. And now jockeying for some room. Kate Loiter slingshots it around to the opposite corner. Sophia Lace right on top of it. Gagnon there as well. RNS trying to start that breakout, but girls in red meeting them well at center. Like a Hail Mary type of action. Sophia Lace shooting it left. Underhill now trying to find something through center. Off the wall, here's the spin. Mealing going side to side. Poloni holding it center, turns around, and a weak drubber comes into the zone. NAHA going to make a change. RNS hit the reset button behind their necks. Somerville near side. Now here's Smith. Quinn Taylor turns around as well along the wall. Taylor beyond the left wing circle. Somerville waits left side off the boards. It's north of 3 minutes to go here in period one. Somerville in that dangerous high slot. Put it off the wall. Laura Murphy waits back in defensive territory, turns on her heels. Quinn Taylor now trying to lead the rush out. Bloom over the line, through the circle, tries that dead angle, nothing's there. Laura Murphy waits at center. Here's Miller turning it ahead. Taylor waits in neutral territory, can't break in just yet. Now trying to find that lane. Thomas after the jip up, crosses center. And a wedge it to herself. Shoots it through the slot area. Here's Abby Richardson. Thomas coughed up. Miller going to wait, surveying the scene. Abby Richardson towards center. Kilfoyle almost got knocked off the puck, but able to stay in possession. 2:30 now left here in period one. Kilfoyle crosses the center stripe. Over the line, Grace Kennedy tried the shot and couldn't get it through. Up in the air, Richardson couldn't get the lofter. Kilfoyle put off the end boards. Bakazi coming to Richardson. Richardson pass. Quinn Taylor couldn't swallow up the banker. Behind the net, Sophia Lace. Abby Richardson now gets taken down, no penalty. Seen just one penalty in this game so far, resulted in a power play goal. Last goal on the board at the 3:52 mark. We've been scoreless since. Rides the glass all the way down behind the net. 100 to go here in period one. Tegan Flood, left side boards. Crunched up to the wall as the puck gets loose. Cassie Lobiser turned around, high slot shot, and bounced away. Well, hit Tegan Flood right there. Puck squirts free. Now she spins around. Flood behind this goal line. And the windmiller for Ray Culligan goes up the far side boards. RNS tries that centering. Lobiser thought better of it. In with speed beyond the right side circle. Looking to drive it to the net. Lobiser now wraps around. Up top in the slot. Richardson tried from the dead angle. What a save. Megan Hull, 58.1. So face-off will come left side of Megan Hall. Again, Ralph State Netherwood, winners of two and tying one at Utica, played in Netsis Center. Just a brand new facility up there, just a couple of years old. And it's the Adirondack Bank Center, which is home of the AHL. Utica Devils as that'll squeak home. Kind of came out of nowhere, went through the 5-hole, and it's going to be 3-0. So Hayden Bloom will get the goal. And the time will be 19:17. So 3 goals, 3 different goal scorers. You like to see it if you're Coach Mayano filling up the score sheet here this morning. Bloom going to stay on the ice sheet after the goal as Johnson forcing it back behind her. Bloom through neutral, cranks it down to the opposite side. Ray Culligan along the far boards. Squeaks free towards the center line. Ella Mealing, little side game. Bloom back beyond the left side circle, and that one going to be swallowed up. Megan Hull making sure there was no chance on her on a second go. We'll tie up after the face-off. 15 seconds left. Kilfoyle behind the goal line. Matthews will break over blue, over center now. Met at the line. Bloom will watch it go the other way, and that's going to end the period. Megan Holt touching it behind the cage to end it out. Tough first period for her as her squad trails 3-0. We'll switch ends and take about a minute break. Period 2 right around the corner here on JWHL YouTube. Back here for period 2 from Canton Ice House Blue Rink. A U19 matchup. NAHA, RNS, 3-0 NAHA already is the wraparound try. And Jaden Elias shutting the door 11 seconds in. We did switch ends for period of the long change, so it's RNS left to right here across your screen. And NAHA working right to left as you see Elias in goal down there to our right. Sit up just behind the bleachers here at Canton Ice House. Pretty good spot all around. Elias lays out, and what a save. She was down on her bottom and made sure that the puck didn't get elevated by her. So 2 great saves by the young goaltender here to begin the second frame. And Elias right off the face-off, just 2 seconds squeak off the clock. Hauling it in once more. Draw going to be one back. Kartush to the boards. Lobiser there in the corner as well. Excuse me, that's Danica Morden wearing 27 for NAHA. Had 2 27s listed on the roster. Kartush is wearing 34. Breaking over the line, Bettle through the middle. Paddle boards it to the corner. It's away from Height. Urquhart. It seems like RNS all of a sudden really putting the foot on the gas here to begin period 2. They've come out with some newfound energy. It is always a tough thing to find that energy early in the morning to kind of get going. And the teams that you'll see tomorrow morning really going to have that problem. We start as early with first games tomorrow at 7 a.m. here at Canton Ice House. Neither of these teams involved. Luckily, earliest game for them, an 8 a.m. start for NAHA, and of course the 9:10 tomorrow for RNS. Crossing the line, Urquhart got crunched. Bakaze tough, spins around, gave it away. Somerville inside the blue line, beyond the left wing circle, cuts along the boards. Puck stripped as Kate Loiter took it aside. Loiter and Johnson, not enough there. As Laura Murphy behind her own net surveys the seat. Kate Loiter gets hammered to the ice sheet. Lydia Johnson now starts the breakout. Coming up the left wing wall. Tegan Flood right there. Got Miller wearing 43 side of NAHA. Seems like there were a couple of roster switches here before this one today. Chips of jersey numbers and whatnot. Drop down, there's Poloina. Johnson paints it up off the top of the half wall, all the way down behind the net. Underhill. Left wing wall put off the boards. Battle of the sevens. Marissa Dawson sprays up some ice, cutting around the net, gets over blue, pits speed up over center, now into the zone, gets putt stripped at the blue line. Staying on her feet, Claire Beadle just barely, couldn't get a shot through on the left wing side, and shoots it in. RNS able to make a change with 17:15 to go here, period number 2. Glad you're with us here on JWHL YouTube this morning. Day 1 of 3 here in Canton, Mass. A bunch of these teams will be back here in Massachusetts later in the year for their playoff tournament in March. But we'll, of course, have all that information as we go throughout the year. Ella Beadle. There's Shanahan. She took that penalty to allow that second NAHA goal in the early going to the game. Taylor coughed it up along the near boards. Gagnon spins it over. Comes Shanahan, trying to pinball it off Richardson. Stays right on it. Shanahan on her horse into the zone. Through the right side circle. Tries and denied. Taylor couldn't clear the zone. RNS, again, newfound energy here to begin period 2. They definitely look like the better squad. Coming out here after the little 2-minute break. Trying to lead that rush out. Thomas clips it down. To the left of the bench, RNS there. Mandeville, the banker off the boards. Sophia Leach tracks it down in her own zone. 16 to go here until we get our first and only intermission of the game. Ella Mealing, the RPI commit to Quinn Taylor. Quinn Taylor's going to Boston U next year, so she's going to be playing some real good quality D1 hockey after concluding her days playing for this squad. And, of course, one of your captains or your big studs, your big guns, and you usually see them in a level like this, moving on to good things. Taylor, speaking of her, came past her. Somerville, little banker. Kennedy was right there. Taylor flicking it out of play. And a little bit of delay there to get the whistle, but clock stopped, 15:20 to go. Into the zone comes Lobesser. Little drop off. Poloini tries to find a center, and there's a jab with Megan Hull coming up with another clutch save. So NAHA 3-0 lead, 3 first period goals. Still looking for our first offense in the second frame. Lobesser, Ray Culligan trying to crush it out of her own end. Zeeland, the lone number above 34 on this roster for RNS. There's Ray Culligan behind the net. It's a crazy thing. All the skaters go up to 22. Then you have your 2 goaltenders of 30 and 31. Kilfoyle wears 34. And then no jersey number taken for RNS till you get to 96 with Amelia Zeeland, the 2026 forward. NAHA, pretty normal thing. 2 to 47 skaters with a little bit of a gap after you get past 18. And their 2 goalies, 31's Elias, and then Evelyn Brown, who's a returner for this team, chilling over on the bench. She wears 32. Far side wall and a Kilfoyle trying to bash it ahead. Height spins around, a little 2-on-2 board battle. Height pushed over to Flood. Now she one-hands it down the other way. Trying to track it, Hayden Bloom, left side corner, on goal, and couldn't finish it. Height right back on possession. Tegan Flood there jockeying for some space as well. Mandeville trying for that point shot and rips it wide. Picked up by Claire Beadle. Now at the line, Height pushed off the half wall. Behind the net goes in a Kilfoyle with 13:48 to go. Are still going to have 20 more minutes action after the break because that's elevated too high. Aiden Bloom was trying to put on a tee. Richardson drifts around, waits a nice spot, and that hit a body going to the net. Kilfoyle clears the zone and she's able to get it past center. Allows RNS not complete the full 5 line change, but they at least get 4 off. Mandeville cuts in. They're in 4-on-2. Richardson trying backdoor, bounced away from Taylor. Now RNS going to have a rush 2-on-1 if they hurry. Coming up the wall, Urquhart tries and shoots. Oh, what a save! Jaden Elias comes up clutch to deny Sophie Urquhart, who is streaking down on the left wing side. So RNS with the best chance of the game right there, catching NAHA on the line change. And they win the faceoff after the fact. Thomas able to crowd, Elias the point shot. Now the bad angle. And frozen up Jaden Elias once more, 13:04 to go. So RNS just going to keep on trying, shooting from every angle. Bashed off the leg, front of the net. Quinn Taylor going to elevate this one, coming beyond center. Richardson trying to drag to the net, gets her stick tugged at. Down on the ice sheet, Taylor along the boards. Mayling hanging around out at the blue line. Gruber trying to rip it. Here comes Thomas as RNS now going to have a 3-on-1. Thomas left wing took a foot over the net. 2 odd-man rushes, and they can't get either one to go. Quinn Taylor along this left side boards. Sophie Lace had nothing on the quick jab. Waits at the blue line, forced off the wall. Mealing looking behind the net. Now surveyed up front. Comes away from Sophie Lace. Waiting at blue. Marissa Dawson pushed off the wall. Brianna Gruber now behind the net. Quinn Taylor holds on behind the goal line. Marissa Dawson crunched by Taylor, and it looks like we're getting a penalty. So Taylor's going to head off, and we're going to see the RNS power play for the first time. It looks like we do have an injury on the RNS side. Taylor's heading off to the bench. So are going to need some medical attention here. 12:05 to go. We're going to step aside for a quick break here on YouTube. So. We'll get back to action here at Canton Ice House. 12:05 to go, period 2. And Quinn Taylor's in the box, 5 minutes the boarding call. And unfortunately for NAHA, that means they're short not only a player for 5 minutes, one of their best penalty killers for this time stretch as well. They do have a 3-0 lead, though. Luckily, it seems like the injured player going to be all right in Marissa Dawson. So she got off the bench, had a little bit of help, but seemed like she was in good spirits getting off. Thomas corrals it off the boards. Gets over the blue line. Right side corner. Ladles it back out to Urquhart. Culligan drifting around running the point. Shanahan in the high slot. Forced off the wall. Mandeville tracking it down. She'll leave it out through neutral. Going to be scooped up by Culligan. 4:08 to go on a 5-minute major. Into the zone, RNS. A little 3-on-3 action. It's like overtime, if you ask me. Kilfoyle inside the zone. We, of course, don't play the overtime. That one, a little poke check coming to the line. Drilled by Shanahan, got blocked on the way. Kilfoyle inside the zone. 10:48 to go till the break as well. Okay, she would carry it. Kilfoyle inside the zone. Now drilled, just wide. Sophia Lace trying to get it on in there. Murphy with a crunching hit. She's heading to Syracuse after her days are done. Kilfoyle high slot, tried for the shot, instead fed over. Waiting, here's Lobesser circling. Tries from deep, here's a spin. Beetle and ripped into the net. Kilfoyle does everything on the power play. And all of a sudden, it's a 3-1 game. Time will be 9:44. So that's a huge goal for RNS, and they still have another 3:11. Nobody was in the box here serving for NAHA. So they're bringing somebody over now. Far circle, and that one forced out of play. So, Marissa Dawson back on the ice for the first time here now. With Abby Richardson, who tried that launch slapper. Face off comes left side circle. Here's Emily Thomas getting over center, crossing blue. Left side circle with 10 to play in the period, so we're now at the halfway point of this game. Circles up top, waiting. Some jabs. Couldn't get a shot through. Brianna Gruber. Mandeville going to dump it off. Somerville slid through. Now one hand behind the net. Yeah, Emily Thomas circling back out towards the front of the net. Culligan at the point, keeps it in with 2:20 to go on a 5-minute major. Sets to Quinn Taylor. At the blue line, Mandeville, a little slice of dice action, and here they come. Well, 2-on-none action, slid over, back, oh, and too much unselfish play as they can't deliver right there. Ray Culligan as it's pinned to the boards. Under 2 minutes to go. Got to be careful not to get caught in an odd man the other way. Off the wall, Richardson shoots it right back in, and NAHA finally able to make some changes. RNS switching out one of their forwards as well. Bettle staying on the ice. She'd been on the ice for much of this power play already, with about 3.5 running off it. Somerville, left side corner, spins around. Urquhart now tries. Shanahan, quick cut towards the middle. Skates over red, now gets over the blue line. Put on over Zeeland. Gonna force feed it up top. Little wait in action off the wall. Shanahan banked off the boards once more. Shanahan out high behind the left wing. Somerville backdoor try. Elias was ready with the glove, didn't have to make a save. 3-1's your score with about 8 to go, period number 2. Marissa Dawson, long shot. Rides the sidewall out to the blue line. Kennedy able to keep the zone. Shanahan through the air, dropped down, and bashed up the ice sheet by Olivia Johnson to the north. So NAHA once again able to make a change. Over center, Emily Thomas. Back beyond the right wing. Urquhart clips off a skate. Thomas crunched to the glass. Now 10 seconds left on the Taylor 5-minute major, being served by Kate Lauder. Slow rubber behind the goal line. Mandeville on the far side boards. On the right side circle. Comes off the skates. Mandeville to the boards. Kate Lauder through neutral, coming the other way. Sophia Lace on it off the wall. Tracked up the middle. Sophia Lace again. Circles back. 5-minute major has come to an end. So only 1 PPG on that sequence for RNS. Had a couple of good chances. Just only able to bury 1. Swatted on goal. Elias continuing to stand big. Up the gut. NAHA starting that breakout. Here comes Warden over the blue line. Through the circle. Lost it along the wall. RNS quickly. It's been kind of a turnover on each end sort of game after those first couple minutes. Take away that first 3:52, and it's been a 1-1 hockey game as Lauder off the wall, clued in behind the cage. Underhill, Gagnon shooting it to the far corner. Lobiser was looking for a clapper, couldn't get anything. Underhill into the corner. Beetle to the line. Jacque toss over the blue line. There's Miller and couldn't crank anything in. Cross at center. Now back into the zone. Along the wall, here's Bettle through the air. Miller cranked off the wall. Lobiser waits in the circle. Looks like we are going to get a penalty call coming up. So face-off will stay in the offensive zone. Polony trying to hold the edge. And there's a glove save. So penalty goes on the lights of Cassie Lobiser. And RNS, another 5-on-4 sequence, hoping to get a chance to cut this to a 1-goal game. And after the way this one started, that would be clutch. Emily Thomas, this one gets kicked at by Polony. Jayla Matthews out to the blue line. Worked hand over hand to head. Point blank shot off the shoulder. There's Kilfoyle up top. Shoveling it over. Shanahan drills wide.
Let's see if this works.
We literally had a goal get scored in the power went out right.
That's us.
Really?
Yeah. It's actually kind of sick. I think that's working.
Okay, so go off that for now because that should be working.
I know. Are you gonna be alright?
Yeah, it's fine. I'll be alright.
I was trying to move some out of your way.
That's okay. I was just trying to figure out what the next game is.
That's so much better, Colby. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't think we could do that.
Huh?
I don't know why I didn't think we could try that before, but
That's alright. I could just tell that it didn't look like it was screwed down good.
just say this in here. So.
I just have my phone on just in case Mom.
Welcome back here to Canton Ice House. We're glad to be back here live with you on YouTube. If you missed it, we had a RNS goal that was scored by Sophie Urquhart in the back stages of that second period. Then we had a little power outage. It was actually kind of sick, you know. Goal gets scored, and just as hits the back of the twine, the power goes out. But we're glad to have power back, and we're hardwired in here for the time being until we get our Wi-Fi situation all fixed here at Canton. But got some hockey for you, and once again, we're glad to be back live. Game 2 of the day here on this ice sheet, and coming in next, we're going to have JRFS and Northwood in the U19s. But should be a good battle. It'll be about a 12-10 drop, so we'll get through this one, have, 15, 20 minutes or so before we roll into that next game. Get a face-off left side of the net. And fast off the boards. Underhill works the wall. Gruber at center ice, poke checked away. Back to go get it is Moyling in her own end. Well, turnaround, Claire Beadle. Behind the goal line, there's Grace Kennedy as well. Left side, trying to force it up front. Miller. Apologies, we're trying to get the other end fixed up with internet for their third period coming up as well. Here's Height trying to settle down along the boards. Tegan Flood was there in the corner as well. Comes free off the wall. Circling back goes Kilfoyle beyond center. Pushed off the boards. Mandeville turned around, waiting about it red. Beadle was there, but here goes Tegan Flood on her own blue line. Forced off the boards. Flood there. Now Height spinning and spraying up some ice. Cruising over center. This one slung in. Finally, Kilfoyle there behind the net. Here's Johnson. Drilled up in the air. Couldn't be settled down. Behind the net, put off the wall. On the boards, Emily Thomas can't feed it through. Miller will break over the center stripe. Bloom into the zone, couldn't get the centering. Kennedy will wait over the line. Here's Shanahan breaking in as they try to cross 3-on-2. Pass off the net. What a save. Jaden Elias so big time and time again today. NAHA calling for the cage is Coach Biano trying to keep those legs fresh in a one-goal hockey game. Gruber waits at the blue line. Trying to knife it up in the air. Battle behind the goal line. Grace Kennedy there as well. Finally centered up. NAHA going to start the breakout. Here they come. Pauloini couldn't get past center. On snapper, going to rip wide versus Dawson, the one trying for it. Kartush going to circle. Gruber trying to come cross ice, and they are going to call a high stick. So 16:09 to go, and play gets halted. Officials having a quick conversation to the right of Jaden Elias' net right now. And they're going to back it out to the neutral zone. Zeeland wins the draw. There's Underhill shooting it in after the fact. Trapped down by Mealing in the corner. Now trying to center. NAHA, here comes a rush. Kartush, cross ice, and it bounced too far. Paulini was the one trying. Paulini gets past her again, 15:45 to go. Kartush tries from the corner, right there. Here goes nothing off the boards. Paulini again. Courts in behind the goal line. Underhill with a nice one-in poke check. Richardson out to the line. A little give and go. She does have Gruber wide open. Instead goes ahead with it. Kartush desperately trying to work it loose. Gruber out to the line, going to drift right, forces it on over. Mealing, point shot and a save. 14:59 to go. So both teams are going to make some changes. Ship to the middle, Jayla Matthews trying to come up ice, breaks over center, now dumped in. Rides up the far side, Urquhart was trying to get there, instead a little crunch action. Jayla Matthews can't get it loose, and we get a whistle, 14:43 to go. On the boards, here's Tegan Flood. Kayla Mandeville tries to start the breakout. Getting over center, now Cassie Lobiser in the corner, pulls up. Kilfoyle there, kicks at it. Emily Thomas behind the net. We do have a delayed penalty call coming up. NAHA will be shorthanded here in a moment's time. Grace Kennedy trying to track this one down. Push to the wall, and with the touch, it was height on it. Whistle comes, 14:05 to go. And it'll be a cross-check penalty. So, Again, NAHA will be shorthanded, and second straight time, Cassie Lobiser is headed off to the box. Out inside the zone, ship side. Kennedy on the back end. Johnson now fed to the middle, bounced away. And that one tried off the post. Out at the line, Kennedy again cuts left. Dawson moving forward, and that hits a leg. Tracked down by Dawson. Kennedy fans on this one. Bump to the middle, high slot, and over the net. Dawson along the boards, forced out deep. Sophia Lace to Kennedy. Now Dawson to center. Richardson was looking on, bumper off the boards. Now Kennedy again waits out inside the zone. Launch shot and rifled off the wall towards blue. Grace Kennedy will hold at the center line. Dawson trying to cut. Gets over blue. Again waits beyond the left side circle. Centered off the patch. Rebound try wouldn't go. Thomas going to wait in the high slot, and that'll trickle in. We are tied at 3. 3 goals, 3 power play goals as Jayla Matthews notches it to an even score. So right back to action. They're wasting no time. Somerville through neutral territory, breaks over center, and now it's the captain, Emily Thomas. Slow roller, going to be picked up as Mandeville works back. She'll come up forward and now blows a tire, fall into the ice. Gagnon on the back end, force off the half wall. Tracked down by Height, find her own goal line. They got to go south-north. Kayla Mandeville, all of a sudden, after NAHA had an early 2-0 lead in this one, a 3-3 hockey game. And it's been frustrating. Behind the net, gets tied up. Kate Lauder throws a hit. Jabbed that on net, and that one gets covered. So nothing wrong with that. Face off will come left side of the net. Miller inside the zone, going to cut right. Through the legs, couldn't get that through. Miller along the boards. Surveys the scene. All the way along the far wall. Deep shot. Gets picked on the way to the net. Here they come. Miss Culligan on the back end. Got picked at center. Olivia Johnson over blue. Beyond the right side circle. Now all the way at the goal line. Forced out high. Go back and forth passing game in behind the net. Hayden Bloom can't get out of there. Bloom spins around. Again evades contact. Bloom waiting on this one. Finally, Ray Culligan out towards the line. Miller along the left side wall, a little drag, nothing's there. Murphy hanging around at center. RNS finally able to make some changes. Down to about half of this third period to go. Here's Richardson shoveling it forward. Sophia Lace played to her right side. Shannon tipped that out along the wall. He dumped right back in by Poloni. Richardson jockeyed along the wall. Urquhart took a hit. Put up the gut. Jayla Matthews having a hard time corralling. She'll get over the line. Lace turns back on her heels with 9:45 to go and goes down. Murphy lost it in the high slot. RNS having Jayla Matthews lay it out and no penalty. Brianna Gruber. Here's Richardson trying to play it up. Matthews. Here's Richardson moseying her way in. On the left wing boards, taking a hit from Thomas. Squirts free. Gruber. Now centered up through the air. In front and no jab and a shot and hit a body. Thomas will get the shot block. Gruber, as everybody's putting it all on the line in a tie game. Thomas will finally get a clear, and tired bodies will get to the bench for Ross Netherwood. Cassie Lobiser working with some quick zip. Towards blue. Getting hammered there, Danica Morden. Got D. Morden on the back of her sweater. Up through center. Hits the stick of Underhill. Tracks it to the left side of the goal. 8:36 to go. Spinorama. Here's Somerville waiting in the right side corner. Played out to Smith. Tegan Flood can't hold that. And going to be offside. With 8:24 to go. So we do have a NAHA penalty call coming up. Tegan Flood sitting for a pair of minutes, unless, of course, Ross Netherwood scores first. And they've been very good on the power play today. 3 for 4. Kennedy forced to come out of the zone to track it down. Lobiser in her own end. Shimmy shakes it off the wall. There's Kennedy behind the net. Off the boards and all the way down. Comes for an icing. So nothing wrong with that. Back to the offensive zone here for NAHA. Despite, of course, being short. Off the draw wing, Kilfoyle. Putting over to Urquhart. Jazzes it off the glass the other way. Lana Murphy behind the net. Sophie Urquhart in her way. Thomas waiting out at the line. Now forced to spin back. Goes in a Kilfoyle. 48 to go. Shanahan in front of the NAHA bench. Little give and go. Urquhart jazzing her way up the boards, and puck came loose as Murphy the tip. Through the air, Murphy again trying to settle down. Kilfoyle out deep, 6:54 to go. Side pass he gave Kilfoyle from deep, and that tip, and play gets frozen. So if this game does stay tied, we'll play the 3-minute or 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime, but not going to have any shootout. So just to give you a heads up how the format works, and that probably would delay our 12-10 game by a little bit if that doesn't end up being the case, but we shall see. Kilfoyle working it up the boards. Urquhart trying to hustle it out. Thomas tips it down, and now RNS goes back on her heels as Kilfoyle going side to side. Up ice, Urquhart beyond the right side circle, hits the paddle and deflects out of play. So Jaden Elias standing up big time and time again. Face off, going to be Amelia Zeeland, and she's able to get the win. Shanahan hits for this one along the wall. Comes out beyond center. A little 2-on-1 entry along the boards. And there's a hit. Gets free as Lace going to shoot it on over. Shanahan past the outstretched stick. And now here's a race. Jayla Matthews trying to win a battle. Mandeville, west side corner. A little slow roller. Wrapped out up top. Nothing was there. Able to hold the line, though, is Shanahan. Now she'll cut behind the left wing circle. Stick gets forced out of the hands. And here's the stretch pass. Tegan Flood getting over center. Now making a line change. Beyond the left side circle. Quick cut and gets side up. Dished out to the line. Now played in. Going to come wide. Up top, this one being sliced and diced for. Sophia Lace in the corner, and here comes RNS. Towards center, and brought in Miller beyond the left side. Forced cross range, Shanahan going to break over the line. Plays it ahead with 4:55 to go. Abby Richardson, pass across. Kennedy waits along the left wing boards. Murphy up through the air, comes down and loose. Back, here's Laura Murphy once more. Waiting, Richardson, gonna mosey. Over blue. She did have Cartush behind her. Murphy positioned out beyond the left wing now. Polony. Played it to herself in the corner. First one to it was Underhill. Dawson gets away with this one. Picked and break it in. Here comes Miller beyond the right side circle. Fired over the net. But a lot of zip on that one. Polony going to wait once more. And now here comes RNS. Kennedy going to break over the red line. Played in deep. Bumped off the boards. There's Tough. Just inside the zone. Somerville trying to blast. Elevated by Miller and now tipped at. Miller will turn on her heels. 3:28 to go. Richardson trying to start that breakout. Instead forced back behind the goal line. Excuse me. Lobiser. Oh, there's Miller. His strong group for Coach Mayano. Seeing a lot of time here at the end of this game. You hope he doesn't wear him out. Somerville. She does have a deeper bench than that RNS roster, though. It's a long shot. And what a save. Jaden Elias continuing to look like she's going to be in a 3 stars of the game conversation after this one. Been very, very good all afternoon. That one will hit a leg. Tegan Flood. Ray Culligan will drop back behind the goal line, forced off the wall. Ella Meelan comes ahead, and there's a nice save. So 2:26 to go. And again, JRFS and Northwood will be coming up next in another 19U game. Expected to be about a 12-10 start, but if this one does go to overtime, probably be more like 12-20, 12-25. Height across center. Lace will blast it off the boards. Spun ahead by Mandeville. Kennedy. Now Flood playing it in deep, and they did it at the left post, but wasn't too close. Sophia Lace fans on clearing that one out. Tegan Flood crunch to the glass. Sophia Lace with a little hit there. 2 to a side along the wall. Who's going to get it loose? It is NAHA. Height a rocket. Shanahan leading the rush the other way. Coming on into the zone, nothing there. Height in the corner, and there's a trip with 80 to go. It gets clipped. Shanahan drops back beyond center, playing inside side. Now pick, Pony high slot over the net. What a chance. Urquhart. Thomas dipsy doodling up the wall. Played to center. Matthews with a little jab. Under a minute to go in regulation. And again, we will play 5 minutes of 3-on-3 OT if needed. Richardson trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Breaks in. Beyond the left side circle. Weave to the net. And a cover. So Megan Hull freezing that up. And looks like we are going to get a timeout. So NAHA with the puck in the offensive zone, going to take their timeout. We're going to take 30 seconds. It's a 3-3 game with 45 seconds left to play.
Again?
It's just straight up my work. I got that like text Allie or anything. Even my text messages aren't going through.
Oh. Not my just recording for nothing?
Well, no, I think just because that's.
Yeah, they got a hardwire to the.
Yeah. I'm going to see something. I kind of want to watch because I can't even have the live stats open. I had the live stats open before.
There's any way she'd take me up the score tomorrow and put me on film.
This one to the wall, and Ella Mealig, after this timeout, trying to draw something up. They, of course, kept the goaltender in it's a hockey game. You don't want to make sure that give the other team any kind of opportunity. Little blast will hit a leg and trickle off to the corner. Richardson pumping it out high. From the corner, chinch to the glass. Now a little rush. Grace Kennedy, 13 to go. And now NAHA have an odd man break. They do have Richardson coming to the net. Slid right to him, picked down the way. Would have been quite the chance if that one had gotten through. Pony along the walls. The seconds will tick down. And yes, indeed, folks, we're going to have some extra hockey in this one. 3-3. NAHA takes a 3-0 lead. Rasa and Netherwood comes storming right back with 3 of their own. 5 minutes of extra time coming up after a short break. Something too for Coral Springs. I can't even post it right now.
Well, you got another game, right? And then we could take off and go somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
And then you could do
Oh, yeah. Well, just shouldn't be that big of an issue to get your Wi-Fi back.
Unless something sorted out. You got all these people in here, and you had a power surge. Like, it could have fried something.
Back here to Canton Ice House, Emily Thomas, Sophie Urquhart, and Adriana Shanahan will be the group for Coach Jordan DeLong. Face-off going to be won by Lobesser. She's out there with Ella Mealing and Abby Richardson to begin on the other side for Coach Miano. Richardson slid one out in front. Oh, what a save. Megan Hall with that right pad. Emily Thomas throws a hit behind the net and no penalty. The NAHA bench was calling for it. Now there's another loose stick, kind of just letting them play here. Melling slings it in, and possession everything here in the overtime. And RNS controlling the puck now as start that rush. At center, forced backwards. Thomas, as it squirts loose. Kartush beyond the left side circle. Richardson fires one up and out of play. So 4:11 to go here in the 3-on-3. And of course, if it stays tied after these 5 minutes come to an end, this will go in as a tie. Both teams will get 1 point if this ends in a tie in the weekend standings. Mandeville be on the left side. Weaving in, slid across, and missing. So some of these tit-tat-toe opportunities for NAHA haven't gone their way today. And now Ross St. Netherwood with the Jets. Marissa Dawson will weave up the gut. Kartush going to swat it up ice. Poloni on her horse over the line. And about how this one's stolen aside, still in a little battle. Poloni with 3:35 to go in the OT. Mandeville going to weave backwards. Now in the midst of a change, Mandeville comes in onside. Trying to slide it through. Stolen by Dawson, though. Zeeland's got it. And out come green and white. Sophia Lace can't get it through. Zeeland. Little bumper to herself off the boards. Zeeland jockeys for her lane to the net. That flips a twig, trying to come to the net. Now NAHA trying to come the other way quickly with speed. It's Lobesser along the left wing boards. A little bumper action. Richardson back behind the net. Group of three that started the OT back out. Ray Culligan looking to win this battle. 2:40 to go. Culligan through neutral. And there's a little hit. Murphy turns the wheels on. Backside left wing circle. Murphy into the net. Gets tripped up. No penalty. Wasn't enough there. Didn't seem too blatant. Zeeland up the middle. Jayla Matthews now trying to hustle it. Over the center stripe all the way down. 2:20. Thomas behind the goal line on this one. Thomas waits up top. That's bounced away. Shanahan once more. Gets her stick tied up. Emily Thomas off the boards. Polony coming the other way. Brace over center. Crossing the blue line. Backside right wing. She pulls up. Sub two. Polony tries that banker. Gets grabbed by Urquhart. And now here's a chance. Oh, Shanahan lost her stick or she would have had it. Jordan DeLong wanted a penalty. We will get one. Bounce to the middle. Off to the bench goes Megan Holt. They'll get the extra attacker. Make it a 4-on-3 here. Shanahan. Thomas is the reload, so this could be crucial. And there's the touch. So whistle comes, and tripping penalty, 1:33 to go, and this is going to be huge. So Petra Polony takes a crucial penalty. And now we get the timeout. So Coach Jordan DeLong uses his 1:33 to go in the OT and another break here on JWHL YouTube.
What? That hit right there.
What about it?
The two girls. I was like, wow, French time. It's awesome. I think Marianne would have not gotten up. I think Marianne would have not gotten up.
Dawson after the faceoff win, 1:25 to go, and Roth said he'd use their timeout. Dawson sliding it over the shot and just wide. What a chance there for Urquhart. She's had a couple today and hasn't been able to bury. Did have a goal earlier on though. Now NAHA with a short-handed opportunity in the 3v4. Lobiser has the middle freed open to the net. Oh, what a save! Megan Hull with the save of the game right there. So that was crucial. Face-off will be Marissa Dawson. And see who she's going to face. It is going to be Reese Kartush. Abby Richardson swerves back. Thomas drubbing one behind her. 53 seconds for Offset. Another would end this one with, of course, that extra attacker. Dawson off the skates. Kartush, as they aren't making it easy. Richardson to the high slot, lost possession. Comes along the boards. Now again waits. On shot, gonna go wide. Ella Mealing. Marissa Dawson back and forth. Urquhart passing it behind her. Dawson, 15 seconds. As they try for one last opportunity. 10 seconds. I don't know why they're changing. Left wing circle, drilled on goal, and what a save. Jaden Elias once more coming up big. NAHA calling for the line change. Amelia Zeeland against Abby Richardson on this one. And Richardson able to win it back. And it looks like that is going to take us to a tie here in this one. A well-deserved tie on both sides. NAHA certainly didn't play well enough after the first period to be commanding enough to snarl in a victory. And, of course, Rothsay Netherwood sleeps for the first period and then comes awake for the final 40, plus, of course, the overtime where neither team could finish anything. And so 3-3 does be the final. Both teams get a point in their first meeting of the year. We'll see NAHA back in action 8:50 tomorrow against Stansted over on the Red Rink. And, of course, Rothsay Netherwood, the lone game of the weekend at Cadillac Ice Arena. They play Washington 9:10 a.m. tomorrow. So thanks for watching this.